Hello there, let's talk about The Mandalorian Season 3 finale, Chapter 24, The Return. Before I start, make sure you check back here on the channel in a couple of days. I'm going to have Mandalorian Season 3 trivia. It's going to be 20 questions, should be a lot of fun. Now, I loved this episode for a number of reasons that I'll get into for a minute, but first let's start by saying that I, as was most of the internet, completely wrong. There was no additional spy, there was no traitor, there was no turncloak. I would have put money on the Armorer or Axe Woves being in cahoots with the Empire, and that is why I am not a gambling man, because I am bad at it. I guess the spies just referred to Elia Kane and I guess the Imperial Shadow Council being all shady. I'd like to take the chance to apologise to the Armourer and Axe Woves at this time. So Chapter 24 is essentially a giant action sequence, and man did this episode have some good little action sequences within it. I think my favourite personally was Din Djarin going through the shield doors and fighting the troopers like sort of door by door. This whole sequence reminded me of John Wick, had some great choreography and cinematography in it, was a lot of fun. Really liked this fight scene. Loved the use of like knives and shields and then throwing in a few blasters. Loved it, really dug it. I also adored seeing the Mandalorians flying in, the Imperial Commandos flying out to meet them and getting this great, awesome aerial combat clash. Bo-katan at the front with the Darksaber. That is going to be one of my favourite images from this entire season. Loved that part. Loved the Armourer going into battle with her goddamn tools again. Someone get this woman a blaster. But I loved this. It just looked out like straight out of like an anime, like or a Dragon Ball Z or something like that. Had a big grin on my face during a lot of this episode. Moff Gideon cloning himself. I think we all knew it was coming, but it's still a pretty cool reveal, and it does lay more groundwork for Project Necromancer and the sequels, and I think we can safely assume, I guess, that probably Snoke is going to be the end product of this, along with Palpatine after that, or before that, maybe. I'm not sure. I haven't finished Shadows of the Sith yet, and I'm not sure if that has answers in there or not, but I will say that I'm 95% sure, maybe, that Gideon or one of his clones is perhaps still alive. Again, I'm not a betting man, and I'm really bad at predictions, but I don't think I got a single prediction right for this week's episode. But if I had to guess, I'd say that the next time we see Gideon, if we do, he'll be either a clone or he will be a bit of a crispy boy doing his Darth Vader cosplay after getting fried by that ship. And speaking of, Grogu, my boy, Kanan Jarrus would be proud of you. Well done, buddy. Now I maybe could have used just a little bit more with the survivor Mandalorians, the captain and the scout. I would have loved to have heard just a little bit more about their time on Mandalore, and I think that would have fleshed them and their story out just a little bit more, and sort of just add to the importance of like what it means to these people to retake Mandalore and to restore it to its former glory. But yeah, I honestly had a ton of fun with this episode, and it didn't go in the directions that I thought it was going to, and I'm not gonna lie, I love the restraint that they showed in this final episode of the season. I feel like some people might be mad at this, the thing that I'm about to praise, but we'll see. But I love the fact that there were no big cameos. I love the fact that there was no huge tease for a different show like Ahsoka or something else. And I love that there was no stinger or end credit scene to try and tease or set up something to come in a season 4. I feel like some people might complain about that. Me personally, I love it because it feels like that maybe going forward now we can have that little bit of a reset and have a completely brand new adventure and story arc begin in the next season, with them going back to bounty hunting and then having another story arc grow from that. I love that we get a happy ending for now, and that we get to see these characters that we've been watching for a few years really finally become officially a family unit, and to have the happy ending, at least for the moment. Like, this on its own could have been a series finale, and I would have been okay with it. But we know that Favreau is already writing season 4, we know that Filoni is going to be doing a movie connecting all these things, and potentially wrapping it all up in a couple of years. So knowing that, and knowing that there is more to come right now, love this ending, and how sort of definite it felt. It just felt like it was like, hey, here's a bow on it. This season, this story arc for these first 3 seasons is done, kind of. bits of it will be picked up later on, I'm sure, but I like that it's sort of had a nice ending to these first 3 seasons. I thoroughly enjoyed this whole season, and I can't wait to see where they're going to take it next. And now we start the countdown to August when Ahsoka starts. I can't wait. Should be fun. Now that's it for me. If you like this, make sure you stick around. I want this to be a place where people who actually like Star Wars can talk about Star Wars and not just complain about every single little thing. So make sure you follow me here and on TikTok at Cubcos. It's the same username here. I'm going to have that trivia episode up in a day or two about this season of Mando and a bunch more Star Wars content coming in the future. Hopefully you stick around and give it a watch. I would love to have you here. This is the way. See you next time.